Greetings, Collective Coven, and welcome to a mini bookumentary about Archaeo-astrology concerning the mystery of Sirius and the Dogon of Mali. My name is Trey, aka Taboo Tarot Reader, author of Astrology for Divination, and this mystery centers the other sister of Isis. The Dogon of Mali are a mysterious wisdom lineage system which seemingly evolved out of ancient Kemet, and the Dogon tribes in Mali claim that space travelers called the Nomo gave them advanced knowledge of our solar system and the Sirius star system, which is 8.6 light years away. They especially knew about a dark star named Sirius B, which is visible from Earth only with advanced technology today. How did they know about Sirius B when modern, mediocre, vanilla astronomers in this pathetic joke of a civilization we call Western society only discovered Sirius B in the latter half of the 20th century? You can see here that the Dogon tribal diagram is nearly identical to what modern astronomical technology allows us to see today. How is this possible? Note the denial below quackademic, likely rooted in false narratives of settler colonialism and internalized supremacy ideologies, which paints the Dogon as primitive hunter-gatherers when in fact they were advanced astronomers. Sirius A is a bright star which can be seen in the western sky through the naked eye, but not Sirius B, its invisible companion. The Dogon people knew that Sirius B was very small but very dense or heavy. Yet its existence was proven only in 1970 when it was photographed for the first time by Western astronomers. The Dogon tribe knew about the existence of this invisible star for thousands of years. They also knew that Saturn has 4 moons and has rings or halos around it, although these cannot be seen without powerful telescopes. Was it truly aliens who gifted the Dogon this sacred wisdom? Or perhaps a legacy of a long-lost civilization? Women's wisdom, matriarchy. It is certainly a mystery. Ooh, who's this goddess? Ooh, this is in fact the twin goddesses, Isis and Nephthys, whom in Kemet cosmology symbolize Sirius stars A and B, Isis, the conscious, and Nephthys, the unconscious. Nephthys, the other twin sister, is the shadow feminine, anchoring Isis, the divine feminine, in space-time. The polarity of ascending cycles versus descending cycles relates to the context of the precession of the equinoxes. And finally, Isis and Nephthys symbolize the cosmic womb or epicenter of the Milky Way around which all stars revolve. Isis and Nephthys, as twin goddesses, in my humble opinion, correspond to the planets Jupiter and Saturn. The Jupiter and Saturn 60-year orbital synchronization cycle mirrors the 60-year Sotic cycle. Sotis is the Greek name of Isis, aka Sirius. The Sotic calendar of ancient Kemet was 365 1/4 days, centering around the heliacal return of Sirius A. Kemet's civil calendar of 360 days takes 1,461 years to coincide with the Sotic year, aka the Egyptian New Year. The Sotic calendar was in use from at least 4240 BCE. In my humble opinion, however, it is much older than 4240 BCE. Think of all the time required to acquire this accumulated wisdom and awareness. Quote via Isiopolis.com: as twin goddesses, Isis and Nephthys are often called the two this or that. We often think of Isis as the bright twin and Nephthys as the dark twin. And it's true, sort of. For instance, the pyramid texts instruct the deceased king to ascend and descend. Descend with Nephthys, sink into darkness with the night bark. Ascend and descend. Ascend with Isis, rise with the day bark. Pyramid text 222. The two goddesses bear light and dark children to the same god. Osiris fathered the bright god Horus with Isis, while with Nephthys he fathered the dark god Anubis. The two goddesses also manifest their divine power differently. While Isis guides and sheds light on the hidden paths of the other world, the coffin texts tell us that Nephthys speaks and they are obscured. Hidden are the ways for those who pass by, light is perished, and darkness comes into being, so says Nephthys, the lady of the temple. I personally intuit that the bone mother archetype of Eris, aka Pluto's shadow twin, corresponds with the Nephthys lore. Nephthys also corresponds with the archetypes of the death and birth doula. Protection, rituals, shadow work, and breaking generational curses. Those pesky little mofos, but little did they know that we wised up, leveled up, so I guess I'll see you next lifetime. When we learn the Dogon say Sirius B is the tiniest yet heaviest grain in the cosmos, which has a 50-year cycle. Sirius A and B mirror a small condensed atom with its plus-minus polarity charges, which mirrors the spiral pattern of human DNA, which mirrors the spiral pattern of the creation herself. Hierarchy of the spheres, or vibrational frequency ranging from dense to ethereal, manifest the function of correspondence in the cosmos. On a deeper level, Sirius anchors our solar system and Earth in time-space. The Sotic cycle entrains with the larger precessional cycle of the Earth. The distance of our Sun to Sirius equals 1 million times the distance of Earth to the Sun. The diameter of Earth equals 1/millionth that of our solar system, and the diameter of our solar system equals 1/40 millionth that of the Milky Way. This invokes the sacred number 4 and the fourfold reality of the cosmos, reflected in Sirius, Osiris, Nephthys, and Seth. Kemet had 4 calendars as well: the civil, lunar, Sotic, and precessional calendars. Note the destroyed nose on this African goddess, an unfortunate common vandalism of artifacts coming out of ancient Kemet to obscure, whether consciously or unconsciously, the fact that Kemet was a black African civilization whom gifted us this sacred wisdom. Da 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 da. The creepy and the kooky, the Addams family. In Egyptian cosmology, Anubis's parentage was sometimes debated, with different lineages attributing his birth to various deities. While some traditions depicted him as the son of Ra, others, particularly during the Middle Dynasties, and later identified Osiris and Nephthys, or Osiris and Isis, as his parents. Occasionally, he was also considered the son of Set. I personally resonate with Nephthys and Set as Anubis's archetypal parents. Therefore, while we may romanticize the yin, we must remember to not speak of shadow work lightly. Set was at great odds with his brother Osiris, and in fact unalived his ass and dismembered every single piece of his body. Thus, in shadow work, it's important to remember that to transmute the shadow into the light, we must not fall into the trap of toxic positivity and spiritually bypass, but acknowledge the darkness as part of the process. With divine grace, shadow work is not for the faint of heart. Whoever made this crude diagram clearly is a primitive savage and starving artiste and anti-capitalist.
Well,
insert slur of choice.
Radical.
For yes, indeed, it was I who created this diagram to impart, hopefully, the point that Isis, Osiris, and Horus correspond with the yang or positive polarity charge of the heavens, the cosmos, the sky, and ascending cycles of precession, whilst in contrast, Nephthys, Set, and Anubis symbolize the yin or negative polarity charge, the earth, and descending cycles of precession. So what does all this mean for the everyday witch embarking on shadow work? In my humble opinion, Collective Coven, Isis and Nephthys imply to us that in order to transcend duality, human limitations, and perhaps toxic codependency with the wounded masculine, the archetypal feminine must recognize that the energy we label the divine feminine also has a hidden shadow feminine, and the divine masculine has a shadow masculine as well, which needs to be integrated in every human psyche. Perhaps the dominant culture of cis heteropatriarchy has clouded our understanding of these archetypal energies we label the divine masculine and divine feminine, and has minimized them to the number 2, when in fact there are perhaps 4 aspects to these energies, maybe even perhaps 6 aspects the deeper you peel back the onion. But if you're gonna stay stuck in the kitchen living that trad wife life of hetero mediocrity and misery, you may never integrate the lesson of Nephthys and Isis, which is that their mysterious connection as twin sisters is perhaps the portal or the gateway to transcend human limitations of Earth.
Brother Hayes will play for you one of his famous selections composed by himself, assisted by Mr. Parker.
Entitled Bush Cow Milk.
Bush Cow Milk.
Bill, love a lovelier lil, a brown-skinned girl of some degree. He bought her satin and he bought her silk with other things of quality. She said, I don't like satin and I don't want silk, but what I want is some bush cow milk. So please go and milk a bush cow for me. That made old Bill stand still, but he said, sweetheart, I will. When the sunshine above stops getting hot, and leopards are born without any spots, and the great big ships stop crossing the seas, and elephants are sleeping up in coconut trees, and mosquitoes take flight and swear not to bite. Sweetheart, I'm telling you to. When we stop getting sugar from the sugar cane, and a driver ant drives an aeroplane, then I'll milk a bush cow for you. Oh, when the sunshine above stops getting hot, and leopards are born without any spots, and the silvery dew refuses to fall, and you can find crawfish 16 feet tall, and mosquitoes take flight and swear not to bite. Sweetheart, I'm telling you true. When the clouds above stop descending the rain, and Joseph Jenkins Roberts is president again, then I'll milk a bush cow for you. Oh, when the sunshine above stops getting hot, and leopards are all born without any spots, when the great big ships stop crossing the seas, and elephants are sleeping right up in coconut trees. Now when mosquitoes take flight and say, look out, I ain't gonna bite, sweetheart, I'm telling you to. When every grain of sand turns to dust, and you can find one woman that a man can trust, then I'm